Namaskar, welcome to Lunar Astro. So today's topic, what we're going to discuss today is the yogas in Jyotish. This is one of those topics which has not been described properly, which I will say, in terms of how the manifestation of yogas will happen. But before that, I hope you guys are doing well and good. As you know, this Saturn is passing 21 degrees right now, and this will create a lot of issues with your bones, teeth, problems related to joints in the body. So take care of yourself. As you know, this is not a good position of Saturn. If you're experiencing any of these problems, please do donations of Saturn. Secondly, when it comes to yogas are the combinations. You know, there is a relation of every planet to every planet. Like, for example, if any planet is in fifth to a particular planet, it means that particular planet is like the advisor for that planet. That is the future of that planet because fifth house is the future. Fifth house is where you're going. Fifth house is your vision. Any planet is in sixth to another planet, that is like the enemy of that planet. Eight to any planet and eight to the other planet, like Mars in Lagna, Venus in eight. So it means the wife is going to bring the transformations because the planets in eighth house to any planet, the major transformations are going to be brought by the planets in eighth house to a particular planet. So let's suppose you have a Saturn anywhere in the chart and Venus is placed 8 to it. The moment you will get married, you will have major changes in related to your profession. It is bound to happen. I mean, this is not even a yoga. It's a very simple Jyotish. But the problem is when you do not have that understanding that, and you take this as a very big technique, this is where the problem lies. This is an absolute basic of Jyotish. That any planet and third to any planet will be the efforts of that particular planet. That what is the skill of that particular planet. So let's suppose you have a Shukra placed anywhere in the chart, and third from it is placed Saturn. So it means your wife will have skills related to Saturn, which is hard work, labor, patience. She has the ability to understand and listen to the subjects to the core, and she will become the base of your house. Or wife or husband. You know, I always take Venus as the, because Venus is the relationships. Gone are the days when you take Mars as the man in the woman's chart, because a lot of people ask that question still, and Venus as a female part. I mean, nowadays in the city, especially in this particular society, everyone is equal. I mean, woman has the equal role and responsibilities as man. So you can't say, you know, that I will take Venus in the man's chart and Mars in the woman's chart. Those days are gone. You have to, I mean, you have to change plans according to the places you're living in. So every planet is related to every planet. But when I, whenever you post something on Facebook, a very simple comparison says, okay, what will happen when the planet is also aspecting it? What will happen when they are in same house as well? You should understand a relation between two planets. There's always a relation. But when they're in same house and when they're in opposite houses, there's a difference. A planet in opposite house, what the planet in opposite house will do, it has to create a challenge for the another planet because they are in opposition to each other. They can be the one has to be absorbent, one has to be the giver, one has to be the receiver, one has to be sender. If they both become equal, that was the Faldipika says, if you get two exalted planets just opposite to each other. And this is in Faldipika, and this is another book, a very wonderful book written in Hindi by Raghunandan Prasad Gaur, Falit Sarovar, written in Hindi. Please read it. This is a book where it also says if a Ketu or Rahu sits with a planet which is exalted or in Mool Trikona signs, their power becomes 4 times or 16 times. Mool Trikona 4 times, exalted 16 times. That is how powerful they become. This is in the book of Falit Sarovar. This is in Hindi. But let me stick to that point. If two planets are exalted and opposite to each other, this is not a good combination because nobody is able to accept that energy because they both are at their peak levels. That's why if you see a chart where Mars is exalted, an opposite house, you see Jupiter exalted. that yoga is not going to work. There's another book let me tell you, which is not using Rahu and Ketu. This is written by the person who predicted in front of a king, and this is when there was a post-independence era, and there was still uh, princely kingdoms in India. So this particular person was not using Rahu Ketu because according to him, Rahu and Ketu are not in the traditional Indian astrology, and that was his point of view. And this person predicted in front of a king that the chart which you are showing to me, the person right now is eating something. And this was the true prediction. And then he has explained how he's predicted this. This is a wonderful book. You should read that book. I just forgot the name of it. I will try to remember it or see in my library and get back to you. But these are two big books and comes in two big sets. I brought it several years back. But the main point is, if you get a one planet exalted in one house, an opposite planet is a debilitated planets, then it's a very good combination. Or enemy planet, the one which is in a deen, a dukkha state, and his friends looks it from the exalted house, this is a very good combination. Because one has to lead in cases of opposite houses. When they sit in common house, again, they both have a common agenda now. They both have the agenda that how we can promote this house or destroy this house. The conjunction. The conjunction works either they're working in a series, they're working together towards a common goal, or they're fighting amongst each other if it's two opposite planets, or whoever gets strong. Like, for example, if you see Mars Saturn conjunction, if it is happening in fourth house, both of them, I mean, Mars is in extremely debilitated state and Saturn is unstable here. At the same time, when this combination happens in the seventh house, clearly Saturn has a win-win condition because that's the exalted house of Saturn. And let me tell you something very, very interesting, and this will break your belief system a bit when it comes to yogas. All the yogas which you read throughout the books, they're mostly dependent on houses. And I will explain that. They're mostly dependent on houses, not the rashis. There are very few yogas which are dependent on rashis. So if when you read through the yoga dhyaya of the BPHS, you will find out mostly it is the houses Maharishi Prasha is giving preference to. Reason being is all the strengths the plants are gaining in the Digbal scheme and the Shadbal scheme are on the basis of their position in the sky rather than the Rashis. So that is why Rashis are giving least importance when it comes to yogas. Although when the Falit is happening, you can use the qualities of Rashis, but to judge the quality of a yoga, always use houses because the Shadbal scheme is moreover dependent on which part of the zodiac they are placed in, the Ayanbal, the Digbal. Then if you're not able to if you're if you're calculating on basis of rashis, if you're saying, I have an exalted sun but it is in the sign of, it is in seventh house, and it is not giving me good results because in the Shadbal scheme sun has lost a lot of strength. So even if it is forming a Raj Yoga of ninth and 10th lord combined, still it is not going to give you good results. So this is another thing which you have to remember when you're dealing with the yogas. So what are yoga I'm going to start with? It's a very simple yoga, and I'm going to pick up a very basic book in Jyotish, and this is Yogas in Astrology. This is by Dr. K.S. Charak. Pick up any book, which one you have. I mean, I brought this book several years back when I was starting in Jyotish. And at that point of time, when I read through it, nothing was going in the head. I was like, how to actually apply them, how you actually remember all these things. It's impossible. And then over a period of time, I've realized the best way to remember anything in Jyotish is to understand it thoroughly. If you understand what is a Kendra, and I will explain this just right now, the Kendra are the pillars of your life. Kendra is something on which your life will stand. These are your basic moral principles. If you see first house, your Ayu, how your health will be. Fourth house, your home, your happiness. Seventh house, your outlook towards the society, how much you're going to interact with the opposite part people, how much interaction will be there. And 10th house, your karma. These are your four pillars of your life. Only benefits are welcomed here, malefics are not welcomed here. Then you have Trikona, 5 and 9. Trikona is what you have brought from yourself. What is your punya you have brought? Ninth house, your dharma. Fifth house, what is your vision of your life? Where you are going? So, where you are going, if you want to see what you will become in your life after a certain point of time, what is a position? Fifth house stands for position. So, fifth house is what you will achieve in this particular life by the end. What is the vision of your life where you're going through? So that fifth house planet or planets in fifth house or fifth lord are going to govern your mental attribute, your thinking capabilities. This is where you are going. And that is what Paldipika says. After that, if you want to see what is going to happen to you, please look at the fifth house. A very simple concept. So fifth and ninth, they are the pap and punya you keep on doing. If you increase them, you're going to get much quicker results in the life. Fifth and ninth remedies, that's why always you do the remedies of fifth house, ninth house, very easily giving results. Then the second house and 12th house are neutral houses. They do not become marak until and unless they get confined or mixed with the lords of 6th, 8 and 12. Second and 12th are the houses, these two lords do not are not malefics at all. They will only behave with the planet they are sitting in, with the house they are sitting in, and the planet they are sitting with. So let's suppose you have a second lord in eighth house, it will become Marak. It will become Markesh. Second lord on its own will not become the death inflicting planet. That's his Bhavat Ratnakar. Then it comes to third and 11th house, which are also malefic houses. Reason being is it carries the vibration of the eighth house. Third house, it's 8 to it. So that's why it carries the vibration of the eighth house. Then the 11th house carries the vibration of the sixth house because it's 6 to 6. So extreme desires, if you have, you will fall sick. If you go and keep on working your skill to a level, one day the death inflicting part, third house and eighth house, these are the houses where you get die and born back again. Birth and death houses. So this is how your chart is made. A very basic concept. Then comes the three basic yogas, and these are based on rashis. So I'll start with them today. And the first of the yogas, and these are Ashraya yogas. And the Ashraya yoga says there are three types of yogas: Rajju, Musla, and Nala. So the Rajju yoga says all plants when they occupy char rashis, movable signs. One born in this yoga is fond of travel, good looks, ambitious, cruel, and delights to frequent alien lands in pursuit of wealth. Now we'll decode the Spila Yoga. What the Raju Yoga says is, if you have all the plants in the movable signs, and let's suppose, but let me decode it right here. If you do not, even if you do not have plants, all the plants in the movable signs, if you have planets, maximum plants in the movable signs, or you are running the dasha of the movable signs only, then this yoga will come in effect. And I will come to the dasha part as well. Since this is not based on Rashi, it is based on houses. So you should not use only the Vimshoti Disha to see the decoding of these, the timing of these particular events. But let us discuss this particular thing as well. So planets in the movable signs. A lot of people ask, what is my destiny of free will? How much can I change in my life? In which areas I can change? Can I change this particular pattern in my life? Is it going to be possible to change? All these things. Please look at how many planets the native has got in the movable signs. Movable signs is what you can improve in this life. That is why in that pursuit, see what is written. In the pursuit, you will travel to different lands, because when you have maximum plants in the movable signs, nothing will satisfy you. You keep on increasing, you keep on improving. What I can do better? I cannot just sit every day 9 to 5 jobs and work here. You keep on learning. These are the learning signs. This is what will teach you more. This will what keep you growing. This is what the movable sign does. Then comes the fixed signs. Fixed signs 2, 5, 8, 11. When the planets are in fixed signs, these are like the anchors of your life. So what I meant by anchor is nothing much changes. And even if it changes after a long period of time. So now you look at the planets. Let's suppose you have a Saturn in the movable sign. So you can easily predict it will be easy for you to learn new trades. It will be easy for you to move to different profession, change your professions frequently and improve in it. If you have a Venus in movable signs, 14710, it will be easy for you to communicate with people, get mixed with people, change your opinions about the people, Venus, how you actually look towards the other people. It will be easy for you because you keep on improving. These are the signs where the experiences have not concreted, they're still wet. You can still go ahead and change, and the changes are different in all the four signs. Like the change of Cancer is emotional, the change of Aries is due to the necessity because that you're getting born there. Let's suppose if it's Saturn in Aries sign, your profession will change overnight. Venus in Aries sign, you will get quickly into relationships. You have Mercury in Aries signs. You will get initiated into learning without even thinking, giving a second thought. That's like, I have a basic necessity. Let me go in. When you get a Mars in Aries sign, you're a natural leader. That's a natural leader sign. So you always keep on leading in Aries. With the Cancer sign, the change is completely depending on emotional, like on the comfort basis. Saturn Cancer, if I'm not comfortable in my work, I'm going to go ahead and change my work. I'm going to get it more comfortable. I'm going to go and build more base about it. When you got a Venus in Cancer sign, even the emotional part, it's a water sign and a watery planet, it was too emotional for that Venus. So you keep on exploring within the relationships, what else, how can I satisfy my emotions? That's why Venus in Cancer never works good, because that emotional need is not satisfied by anyone. You need that comfort from the partner. Let's suppose you have got a Jupiter in the Capricorn sign, which is a movable sign. So you know that Capricorn sign is a sign of necessity. So Aries was, I'm getting born. Capricorn, the planets do not move easily, even it's a movable sign, until unless they are pushed. So until unless there's a pressure, Capricorn signs always build pressure. Saturn signs, until unless you build pressure of Jupiter in it, you will not learn. Until unless somebody challenges you, somebody abuses you, somebody tells you, you're not good for nothing. Till that point, you're not going to activate that Jupiter. So let's suppose your Jupiter is your seventh lord, sitting in Capricorn, and until unless somebody really shook you, insult you, and push you for that marriage, and it's not going to happen. Somebody has to push you in Capricorn. That's what the Capricorn does. Somebody has to give you instructions. That's a sign of Saturn. The qualities of Saturn are there. When it's in Libra sign is about designing, thinking, capabilities, getting connected with everyone. People change in Libra because of choices. They have to make choices to move ahead in life. So Libra is always about, I've got two choices and I have to choose one and leave the another. Choose the best one. So this is what the changes the person will do in 14710. These are your learning patterns, and you will do mistakes in these signs. So don't worry. That's how you learn in life. I mean, even if you have done being in the wrong relationship, if you've been with the wrong job, wrong people have come into your life, that's what the part of the life is. This is how you learn. There's no experience you have in these signs. That's why there's a chance of improvement. So improve them, enjoy that journey. When it comes to the plants and fixed signs, which is known as the Musla Yoga, all plants occupy sthir rashis. One born in this yoga is proud, learned, wealthy, liked by the ruler, famous for his stable nature, and blessed with several sons. So, very people who who do not change things very easily. For example, if you have a Saturn in fixed signs, you will not change your employees very easily. You will give them chances. You know that they are going to do mistakes. You're very patient with them. You have Mars in fixed signs. But even with your leaderships, your outlook towards starting anything, you will judge, analyze everything properly, and then you will say, okay, let me judge this, let me analyze this, then we will take decision about it, whether we have to do this or not. Very calculative. Reason being is fixed science, there's no free will in it. It is bound to happen. Secondly, there's a lot of experience you have already have. That's why it's concreted. You're fixed. You're a very stable, balanced mind in terms of fixed science. That this is what I am, this is what I have to do, this I will not do. But let's suppose I'm giving you a scenario. This is how it's going to work. The plant is in fixed sign. Its dispositor is in movable sign, or a plant is in movable sign, dispositor goes in fixed signs. Then how it is going to work? It means some portion. Now this is the second part of it. Let's suppose I'm giving you example: Venus in sign of Aries and Mars goes in sign of Taurus, exchange houses. So when it comes to relationships, Venus in Aries, it will still have some stability. Reason being is Mars is sitting in a fixed sign. That Lord of first house, the Lord of Aries, is sitting in a fixed house. They've exchanged houses, so they will protect each other houses. They've exchanged. There's always that anchor with the Venus. So do not think only the planet in that one sign you can operate independently. As I said, all planets are interlinked to each other. So you have to see whether this planet has got an anchor or not. So when the planets are in fixed signs, these are the anchors of your life. How stable you are in your life, how stable you can grow in your life, because these particular planets grow with it over a period of time. This is what the Musla Yoga is. Now, the third type of yoga, where all the planets are in the dual signs, 3, 6, 9, 12. These are Jeev signs as well. This is where the most, the duality comes in. And what the duality represents Jeev. Reason being is, this is what we humans are. We are not fixed. We are not completely movable. We operate in between both. That's why there's a Jeev sign. And these Jeev signs, they never take extreme steps in any direction. They're not how fixed, like I will move or do not move, doesn't matter. Whatever they will do in one direction, they will do the second thing in opposite direction. So let's suppose you have Saturn in dual signs, 3, 6, 9, 12. Even if you want to start a business, you always have this thing in mind that, how can I start the business as well as I can do the second part as well. You know, I can pursue two things. Can I study and do the job as well? There are people who cannot do both things at the same time. That's Saturn fixed signs. But some people have this mental attribute. They are multitaskers. 3, 6, 9, 12. They can do two things at a time. Some people can, sing, listen to the music, and write down their homework. Some people can't do that. Some people can't even talk while writing because their brain is not adapted. Their Mercury is not in that dual sign mode. So now when you look at the chart, look at how many planets you've got in fixed houses. What are the signification of those planets? And whether they're fixed in your life or not. Whether you're growing very stable outlook or not. When you have movable signs, check how many planets you got in movable houses. How much of the percentage free will you have. Then in dual houses, again, you do the same. So fixed houses, the rituals are very difficult to be done. And that's why you always require those energy sources which are formed over a long period of time. That's why wearing stones will give you results in terms of fixed signs or fixed planets. While the rituals of 1, 4, 7, 10 are much easier. If you even if you go to temple, if you light a diya, if you do very simple things, 1, 4, 7, 10, movable houses, they quickly give you effects. While the dual houses, you go to that particular jeev in your life, take the blessings, and you will find out that things are changing, such as Mercury. So Mercury represents your sisters. Mercury represents the uh, um, Mercury represents small kids. Mercury represents people who are non male, non female. If you go and take their blessings and you feed them continuously, the Mercury starts giving good results. But that is only in the dual signs. But let's suppose your Mercury goes in fixed sign. So then I will suggest you should wear the stone of the Rashi where the Mercury is sitting, not of the or stone of the house where the Mercury is sitting, or either one of them, depending on what the condition is. Similarly, it is in 14710, which is a movable house. I will tell you to do some donations of the significations related to Mercury. But this is how simple the remedies can be chosen. Now, this is the very basics of starting in terms of remedies. But this was the first three yogas you have just done, which is Ashrita yogas. And I hope you guys like the video, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you. Bye bye.